They'll be calling you a radical. It's important I get these videos up. It has nothing to do with view counts, because the fainting goats, it doesn't matter to them. It happens to do with research. When I was doing my MBA, when I was doing PhDs, I would dig through libraries, you know, hoping somebody had some data compiled and left us. Now they can dig through these videos. I mean, that's what this is about. It's a library, it's literature, it's research, it's hardcore. So I want to talk finance. I want to talk, General Electric's going to announce the 20th. And I'm telling you, they're in deep, deep water. I mean, they're trying to spin out something which they can't legally. That's against the law. Of course, what's the law? So I want to talk First Security and the history of the corruption, First Security. They were offered $1 billion bailout today. Or, excuse me, $1 billion fine. God, there's a Freudian slip, ain't it? They were offered it by the feds, which the feds won't charge anybody. The Trump SEC, the Trump Justice Department, it's just as bad as the Obama. I mean, so you loot $100 billion, well, hey, here's $1 billion. You know, which don't mean jack to them. They don't care, because these CEOs and executives, there's no activist shareholders. They just loot, rob, and pillage, because you're the activist shareholder, and your apathy, you're asleep. It's called a 401k. You've been had, you've been scammed. So, what's this got to do with Fukushima? Everything. I mean, it all ties right here. So, I was a finance student here, graduated #1 school of business right here, the Wattis, who built the nuclear reactors of Fukushima, Japan, which is General Electric. The legendary finance professor CLYDE COOLEY, who got Mad Cow in '99, right, who's got our MBA program. I took over the program. I came home from Wall Street, my plastic career, blah, 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 blah. So, First Security, who ended up with, excuse me, Wells Fargo ended up with First Security Bank. Okay, so First Security is the Eccles family. You know, the Federal Reserve, Mariner, the whole thing, the great socialist, he called himself. Here, right in this town. So the merger's on. Zion is going to buy it. $45 a share. Done deal. The legendary finance, his office was right there in the corner. The legendary finance professor CLYDE COOLEY did the due diligence. And all of a sudden the whole deal falls apart. They fire sell it for like $14, $12 a share, maybe even less than that. To who? Corrupt Wells Fargo. And so we're like, what, Clyde? I'm asking, what the hell? Can't tell you, Kev, but it's bad what we uncovered. You go from 45 to 14 in one day. The merger, the scam. So the mortgage scams, oh, get this. They got my mortgage, First Security. So they were under other investigations on illegal inspections on homes. So they settled out of court just like this. I was due $800, my portion of it. I got a check the other day for $26. That's right. That's the shakedown, the scam. So let's talk about the earnings report this morning. They write down, says, oh, we'll just go back and reinstate earnings. Isn't that what General Electric, I mean, what a scam. You think of that. That's, so, oh, sorry, we lied. Haha. We reported fucking, you know, $1.35 a share in earnings fucking in 2016. When we really had negative, dumb shareholders, and the stock rallies. Fucking, remember these fuckers on John Jerry and CNBC, these fucking dog and pony show? Oh, we're going to double down if G goes under 20. The only guy that got it right was Kevin. Now, JP Morgan, that guy's come out later after the fact. I've been all over this since it was $36. Same with Chicago Bridge and Iron. That's scam artists. Now, Chicago Bridge and Iron, let's get to this. Chicago Bridge and Iron built the Savannah River Moxie fuel plant, right? A fairy tale that they've given up on. They still flood them with money, bailing them out. In New Jersey, they just gave them a freaking nuclear energy bailout. I mean, it's unbelievable. In Georgia, in South Carolina, Savannah River, the fairy tale, the mock fuel didn't work. It's a fairy tale. So the DOE goes in and does an investigation. The investigation comes out and says they billed the United States taxpayer for 72% completion. They're less than 30%. We're 26, 28% complete. Do the math. It's $29 billion. Do the math. So they looted tens of billions of dollars. The stocks, they just take it right down. So I'm like, short. Right as I was getting ready to short it, I collapsed. What did I do? I had open heart surgery. Now, I know a few of you did. I mean, what a score you made in the derivatives market under Kevin Blanch's advice. The stock goes from I think it went from $19 or $21 to $9 in one day. One day. I mean, it's a shakedown. It's a scam. These criminal derelict bastards, First Security is so hardcore criminals, and it's the executives, the CEOs. They're not going to do anything. I mean, look at Madman Trump. 1 minute he's fucking put tariffs, the next minute he's like, fuck, let's go back to the TPP. This fucking guy is fucking mentally just, I mean, he's unstable. He's all over the fucking place. And I like Comey coming out now. Comey's the fucker that put him in office. Remember, fuck, he's the one that fucking, right, 3 days before the election, fuck, comes out on the Hill. He's the one that got him elected. I mean, these bailouts are insane. I want to put this into the domain. The legendary finance professor Clyde Cooley got mad cow in '99 right here, right as we got our MBA program. He's standing right there in the classroom, fucking attacked his brain like a wolf. He lives, who owns Grassy Mountain, Stair Cycle and Bountiful? Bain Capital? They're from Boston? Yep, right in the resident, right where he lived. He got BSc. The most brilliant fucking man I ever knew, and I know a lot of genius. The #1 finance school in the fucking country via the testing. So I stepped in. They made promises to me, lots of promises. You know, so I taught Kyle Madsen's class. You know, there's a picture, used to be a picture in here with Warren Buffett with his arm around me. Because we went to the Berkshire High, we used to take students to it, and I didn't have very nice things to say to him. Because we got to go to the yellow meeting, you get a meeting, and he's like, come here, come here. And I says, well, you know, I don't fly you because I don't believe in what you do and blah, 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 your growth. I asked him right here, the head of Walmart, who's from Ogden, right here in the room, I asked him, you can ask the dean, Mike. I says, how are you going to continue growth when you're in violation of antitrust laws? The feds approve Bayer and Monsanto, yet Obama administration and the Trump administration sue Energy Solutions trying to leave Utah, and Utah gives them bail out for antitrust, but they won't them. He about spit his coffee across the fucking room. So Buffett fucking there, I says, well, you know, I don't agree with anything you did, but I guess, you know, even Babe Ruth had slumps, I told him. You know, I wish he'd have a slump. Look what he's evolved into. So that, now hear me out. I mean, I know a lot of you guys made money, and I need help on my activism. I mean, I've got 2 guys basically that sponsor me. Michelle Grant, she gives me $100 a month, and you know, Joel, I got a couple people. I need some help, man. I got a lot of fuck on my table right now. A lot of work. The salmon collapse in earnest. I'm dealing with them in California. I'm dealing with them in fucking Oregon. I'm dealing with them in New Jersey. I'm dealing with them in New York, in Vienna, in Italy. I mean, I got so much fucking going on. I don't know how I fucking juggle it. I'm overwhelmed. And so, look, General Electric, this is the school of General Electric. That's why they blackballed me. Wattis built the freaking nuclear reactors at Fukushima, Japan. They cheated, they cheated. He died of leukemia 3 days after they got the contract to build Hoover Dam. He died of leukemia young, jumping up and down in his wheelchair. So, I got leukemia, as you know, and I will quote the dean here. He says, Kevin, you ever think maybe they gave you leukemia? Sent you in the mail, you're anti-iron? I said, they give it to all. It's called the jet stream. So I start to wonder, what about timing of my leukemia? And by the way, we were #1 via the test. And guess who #2 was? We used to beat them by half a point. And they were our sister school. We used to call them our sister school, Wharton. So we had Wharton professors come here. We'd go there. And is that her? I was, God, I thought I couldn't get ready. The one professor here says, don't go see the Dalai Lama. They're Chinese already. There's one of them. That guy's the freaking, talk about a derelict, moron. When Clyde Cooley died, he says, well, it was age. He was 63. I mean, these people, so after he died and the whole thing, they ran me off because of my philosophy, because, you know, I'm a Hamiltonian. They went from Hamiltonians, tariff school, to their Chinese oligarchy. They recruit like a basketball team. They, out of 530 universities, they scored 520 last year. They haven't fucking stopped in the top 301 since I left in 2005. What a fucking clown circus. They took my MBA, they stripped everything from me, because that's how they play. That's what academia is. Academia is a sham, just like everything else in America, this science fiction economics. So let's talk about in the earnings report on General Electric. This is going to be the 20th. They're going to miss grotesquely. They're going to dance and do what they always do, and they're going to lie. You know, so their people can get out, whatever. This stock's going to get delisted. Because, okay, they're talking spinning out, not just the transportation division, you know, they're multiple divisions. They're all in fucking under heavy water. They're fucking, the fraud, and I'll tell you what's going to take them apart. Because the SEC is not going to do it. The SEC refuses to do their fucking job. It was Miller, the CFO, that reported that they're under investigation. What's going to take them apart? Shareholder lawsuits. So, You bought the stock at 36. These are major, major hedge funds. This is not your average stock. This is a Dow component, so-called safe, high dividend stock. These are big fat cats that own this one. They ain't fucking around. They're not taking this line down. The lawsuits are already flying like crazy, as I said, and they'll win. It's real easy. Your Honor, what's your evidence? Here, right here. They reported they made a $2 Jack Welch lie. Jeff Rummel to melt. There's the hook. The cover up of Fukushima. Remember, he was the job czar? He's the most corrupt CEO, worst CEO in human history. Yeah, you heard me right. Jeff Rummel. He's got a new job. What's he doing now? You think about this. You think about this. Their corruption was inside their extended life policies. In rest homes, they were killing people. Actuaries, that's what they do. Actuaries, now he's teaching. They figure out when you're going to die. So think about it. They own the extended life policies, and they were cheating and lying. So they want you to die earlier. How do you think that's what Fukushima is? You think that was covered up? Now think about it. Barack Obama stood on the White House lawn. Because I want you to know what I know. They were flown out of the country with Jeff Rummel, with the CEO of Chicago Bridge. Ha! All these attacks. Two South Americans, the plume hammer, that's right here in Utah, right as I got it. Then I get leukemia right then, as I'm the only one on earth going after them, hardcore. Then I get cancer right then. Huh, maybe they did send it to me in the mail. Maybe they sent it to you too, you just don't know it. Not yet. So, they'll miss. It'll be a dog and pony show. This stock's going to crater. $13, it's so grotesquely overrated, or overvalued. This stock's worth minus. I mean, seriously, I set my price tag at $11.33 in September and October. Right? How many of you guys made how much money? You know, I sure could use some help, you know, because I can't trade. Because I spend all my time fighting the nuclear crime syndicate. And I want to say this, Semmelweis on Balco. That's Tracy Hall, the guy that invented the synthetic time, worked for GE. His brother was my 8th grade teacher, history teacher. He was a genius. He was fantastic. I loved him. He loved me. He's the guy that figured me out. It's like, oh boy, you're one of those. You get the class high on all the tests, and you won't even come to class. Yeah, I'm busy, I told you. I like to run track, then. I like sports. I like to play basketball. And, you know, I like the animals and the birds, and I like to be out on the landscape. You know, so I didn't like being in a classroom, being told stuff that I knew, you know. This is important. Real important that I did all this historic work on this campus. And if you don't think they blackballed me, you know nothing about this campus. University of General Electric, simply. FAWN MCKAY Brodies. Wattis 33-degree Mason. The Masonics. Now you think about this. I restored the 1905 Masonic fucking temple. I hung with a rope, hand chiseled. The historic. I mean, that place is so historic and building. They were trying to. I saved it with my mind. Single-handedly hung with a rope, hand chiseled, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Said it couldn't be done, couldn't be done, couldn't be done. Oh, I fucking did it. So FAWN MCKAY Brodies, the greatest female writer in history. The Masonics, the Mormons and the Masonics are the same people. You know what blackball means? I was told by my own attorney they blackballed me. Right to my face. Randy Richards. I was working on his house when I got cancer, right over here in the Birch Creek. A lot of people got cancer right there because the plume hammered right over us from Fukushima for the first 6 days. Jeff Rummel and fucking Barack Obama covered it up. And then first guy into the White House, a B. Now you think about this. I was at the White House. I'm screaming. The Russians have occupied the White House on 5th of November, 2016. Long before you fainting goats got involved. Golden showers on fucking Balco. I was screaming at Climb the Statue, leading 5,000 people in the Million Mass March. Ha! I already knew. We already fucking knew. Because I can figure stuff out early. We figured it out. Anonymous? You see my mask on the back of my head. I'm unanonymous. All men know my path. So he says, you've been blackballed. I said, what do you mean? The media's, the Standard Examiner, or scumbag derelicts here. You're blackballed. I said, what are you talking about? They vote on you. I had a lot of money, remember? Remember? That's how you get in. He says, they voted on you twice, Kevin. And that's where the term blackball comes. The Masonics black. A black ball's no, white ball's yes. It's an anonymous vote. Well, they blackballed FAWN MCKAY Brodies, the greatest female writer in fucking history. 19-year-old professor, a dean of history, female in that era. There's no statue. They won't even speak her name on this fucking campus. Just like me. Just like me. Just like Dr. Cooley. Just like Dr. Cooley. I have the last letter and recommendation he ever wrote. It's sitting in there in special collections. They want to take my degrees. I told Desiree one time, you take away my fellowship, you don't give me my fellowship on my PhD. They went after me so hardcore, and they lied to me, cut deals with me, and they betrayed me. Watch. I didn't know I'd get cancer when I told her that. I didn't know Fukushima happened, but I knew that sooner or later there was going to be a nuclear meltdown. What would the next one be? The next nuclear meltdown, Kevin Blanch saying this right here, right now. You know where the next nuclear meltdown is going to be? New Jersey. I'm telling you, stay in tune.